Do you consider yourself and that you should be able to? But I ask you, how much are you losing? One answer to get that piece of technology working when you could be out there helping your genius. Look, I'm down that rabbit hole. I work in technology with my clients. There are times where myself, whoa, wait a minute, but there's some other things to be thinking. Today's episode of Make It Click is life and productivity coach for family caregivers. Now, Tanya, before you decided to be a coach for family caregivers, you worked in corporate, is that correct?
Yes.
And going into your own business, you were feeling pretty confident with the technology, correct?
Well, I was feeling confident in that, when I was in corporate and I had staff, I learned from my young staff that when I assumed they had the answer because they were younger and more tech savvy, I would ask them a question and then they would Google the answer right in front of me. So I learned it was really about, do I feel that I'm able to get the answer? And so from that standpoint, I felt very confident that I could, I didn't have to get stuck. I could figure things out if I need be. Yeah.
So what happened? What come to the realization of? I don't think it was too long. Correct. Working on some technology, and you had this thought come across.
Well, there are times I have found that is actually helpful for me sometimes to put the time in to learn. That, to not get frustrated. I mean, what really works for me is determining that it's just not to give up, and is not to decide that, people who are younger than me or that I should already know, but to understand that if I'm going to be working as a solopreneur, I will always come across technical difficulties. So that doesn't mean I don't have people that I can call on. I mean, I have a webmaster. I was up at 4 this morning. I got an email from my guy in the Philippines, and Lord knows I was there answering him back. I don't know, there I was at 4 a.m. We were having a conversation. So I'm not saying I do everything on my own, but I do find that it's better when I have a foundation. It makes it easier for me to work with the technicians rather than me just assuming that I shouldn't know anything. They should handle everything. I need to come in a little bit knowledgeable and not fearful. That way, we work best together when that happens.
What would you say this whole concept of, jumping into your own, working through difficulties and whatnot, philosophy on the mindset?
So I find that I use technology as just like any other opportunity to watch my negative self-talk, because it's very subtle. Negativity isn't the big things of saying no. It's those little things of, oh, I can't, oh, I should give up. When I run into difficulties with technology, I do what I should do with anything. You get up, you walk away, you take a breath, and you come back. I find that other women who who are also solopreneurs just get frustrated and say, I can't do this. And they just decide that I can't do this. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to give up this whole idea of my business. And I just use it. So I had a friend call me the other day and say, how do you do that? And I said, I get up and walk away. And she said, I think I'm going to try that. I can do that. And so that it's a mindset trick that is the best. It's one of the best ones. Just get up, take a breath, walk away, come back, and chances are it's going to look different. So I use technology snafus to develop a stronger, better self talk.
Interesting. You say, you get up and you walk away, because I think many of us are like, but I time is precious. Like, but that's to that it's I at times have done that also, because I realize my brain just isn't working right. I've been thinking about it too long. Walk away, come back. It makes sense now, and I've recently issue myself. What happens is, even 5 minutes, it's amazing,
Right,
how
exactly.
things
Yeah,
work out in 5 minutes. Yeah. So
exactly. Yeah, it's not a long walk away. It's just walk away and come back, and you'd be surprised. The other, just a short thing. I was trying to get my Outlook, trying to go from a Google Calendar to Outlook Calendar and get everything together. And I made it so difficult. I got up and walked away and came back like after 2 hours. I mean, I really did invest time in thinking I have to keep going. I will have wasted 2 hours if I didn't. I just got up and walked away and came back, and I could immediately see what the issue was, and I worked. So that recent experience was my reminder. Just get up. Yeah.
well, to ask you mentioned you have a webmaster. What is one tip, your main tip, for people who are ready to outsource, to have someone else do some of the work, whether it's a technical piece or an admin piece? What would you say is one thing that they should be thinking?
Well, the first thing I'm going to say may not be helpful to most people, but I'm thinking about a situation I ran into this week. I've taught personality type, cognitive preferences using Myers-Briggs and temperament for years. And I realized that because of the way my complicated brain works, I sent this beautiful outline exactly how I wanted the page to look. It was beautiful. It said everything. And it came back. And I realized I gave this person way too much information. And so what I've learned to do is not to blame or to go, oh my goodness, how did I just went, you know what? They think differently than me. I gave them too much information. I came back and I sent the same information in 3 separate emails, beautifully done, instead of sending it all at once. So it's just, just keeping in mind that people do have different preferences for how they prefer to get information, and that my complicated brain can be way too much for somebody whose job is to do admin and to do exactly what they're told. They want one piece of information, they want to finish it, and then they want the next task, and then they want to finish that. And so that happened this week as well. This is right. What's today? This is only
It's
this
Tuesday.
is only Tuesday, and I feel like like I'm already at Friday with the technology already.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful, Tanya. And this is, I've felt that way for many years now. That the problem in delegating aspect of it, in that we think we're speaking the same other person, and we're not, because we all information differently. Working with somebody, yes, it's very important to get on the same plane, so that you're not redoing. That's what I. So Tanya, do you audience?
Well, as you shared at the beginning, I am I am a life and productivity coach for family caregivers. And one of the most important things that family caregivers who feel that their lives have been their lives are sort of on hold, they no longer have the professional, the complicated their identity is shifted. Right now they're spending 40 hours a week caring, and it can be very complicated. And one of the things that family caregivers need is social time with people who they don't have to explain things to. So I run a meetup group every Tuesday morning, 8:30, and we just gather and have conversation, and it's just a chance to breathe and not have to explain the challenges and how challenging it is. So I just want to invite people. It's part of my advocacy. I'm part of supporting family caregivers. So I would just invite if you are a family caregiver or someone in your family is, just come and join us for coffee. Or I actually have celery juice in my announcement, and a woman joined us last week because she said, caregiving for my son, and he's on this protocol, and we're having celery juice every morning. And I thought, wow. And so people connect, we connect soul to soul, and not around giving care, but how we're caring for ourselves. So yeah, I just want to open that up to anyone who's caregiving. We have a great time every Tuesday morning.
Great. And you can find out all the information at bit.ly/cafe. Well, Tanya, thank you so much for joining me today.
Okay.